Tuesday at pregame, this is Johnny Detroit. Before we get to college basketball action, when I was looking over different sports books to see if there's any value in any props for the conference tournaments, any obscure props between books where I could maybe get a free scalp. We'll get to that in a minute. I was looking over at 5 Dimes, and they have the college football lines up early, and I cannot lie. March Madness is an exciting time, but when you start seeing college football stuff this early, it does give you that tingly feeling in a good way. Right now, Michigan Wolverines, they open up in Texas at Cowboys Stadium against Alabama Crimson Tide. That line opened at Alabama -10. It's been bet up to 14.5. Michigan State opened up -9 over Boise State. That line's down to 6.5. And Clemson opened up -4 over the SEC's Auburn Tigers, and that line is now at 4.5. And I know you can't really get too excited right now because it's still months away. But to me, to see those lines, I just had to share it with all the people because, once again, I am the people's champ, Johnny Detroit. So what's going on over at pregame over in the forums? There's some great stuff going on right now. Stu has an open discussion thread. No Limit, he has his 3 plays loaded. Oopie has a Big East thread up with all of his selections. Lloyd Christmas is pointing out some scalps and some discrepancies amongst books where you can make some free money. And I'm going to get to that more in detail shortly. Denver Money for you hockey people. He has his Grand Salami Daily thread up where he's talking nothing but puck, so definitely check that out. So to the good, the bad, the ugly of what happened at pregame yesterday, and for you newbies, unlike everyone else in this industry or the legacy of this industry, is one of the things that makes us what we are is the transparency. And each and every day on this daily video, I break down how the pregame pros did with their selections, whether good, bad, or ugly. And there was tons of good yesterday. Mike Hook sweeps the board 4-0. He is now up 76.80 units in the last 32 days based off a 1 to 3 rating scale. Vegas Runner wins 7 of 9 over his last 30 premium plays. He is now hitting 65%. Brian Leonard, what does the guy do? 1 play, 1 winner, 1-0. Brian Leonard, Mr. Selective. And if you're not a high volume guy, definitely suggest looking at Brian. Greg Shaker sweeps the board yesterday. He is now up 24 units so far already in March. Andre Gomes, the best kept secret at pregame.com. The guy wins every single season in the NBA. He's doing it again this year. He goes 6-3 yesterday, nails his big 3-star. Ben Burns wins 5 of 6. Joe Gavazzi goes 6-2. J.R. O'Donnell is now 23-9 of his last 32 NBA plays, and he hits his big NBA 3-star yesterday for his clients. And Spartan hits his big 3-star. To the half good, half bad, half full, half empty. Steven Nover had his MAC game of the year. Marco had an underdog shocker. Unfortunately, they both were on opposite sides, so one had to win, one had to lose, and the nod for Tuesday goes to Steven Nover as his MAC game of the year was on Toledo. So props to you, sir. And insult to injury for Marco. He's going to be mad that I'm talking about this in this video, but feel free to razz him in the forums. As I talked to him early this morning, and he's still disgusted. He was playing, as he put it, a 70-year-old old lady who took advantage of him and stuck it in him and had her first orgasm in probably 30 years. As he had ace 10, she had king 10, flop came 10, 10, rag, turn, rag, river. You heard it right. You know what's coming. King. So Marco, besides losing his big game yesterday, he went to Caesar's Palace and he lost a big pot to one of the Golden Girls. On the bad side, Gil Alexander goes 0-2. I did hit my 3-star insider game on St. Mary's, but I lost all my 1-dimers for a losing day overall. Who am I looking at today? Vegas Runner. He's stone cold killing it the last couple years in the tournament. I'm definitely looking at him. So you're asking yourself, JD, hooks up all these units. You always hype up Brian in these videos. Shaker's up 24 units in March. Why are you not looking at them? This is why. Don't question the people's champ. Because I took Greg, I took Mike, I took Brian, and I've discounted their 7 and their 30-day packages for today and tomorrow and Thursday. So you can go to the PregamePros.com homepage, get their 7-day packages discounted. You can go to the individual pages, and you can get the 30-day or the 7 on their personal page discounted. So I definitely would invest in them. Don't forget, March Madness packages are up, and that does include the conference tournaments. I know some people are confused when they hear March Madness, and they only think big dance, but March Madness means the conference tournaments. So you get all of their selections for college basketball from the second you buy the package through the completion of the Final Four. For the free picks today, I go to Russimer, who has won 8 of his last 9 side selections, and he is a community member just like you. If you click streaks, you could see who's the hottest yesterday, last 7:30 for the season. He's won 8 of his last 9. He likes East Washington, UMass, St. John's, and Weber State. So to Johnny Detroit's tip of the day, one of the things you definitely should learn how to do is to scalp, hedge, second halves, all the variables that could help offset when you have losing runs. And brutally honest, the last 30 days I've had my worst run ever in gambling at pregame, predating pregame. And the last time I ran this bad was in high school back at Wayne Memorial when I would bookstore Eddie so much money. I was in the locker room selling baseball, football, basketball cards so I could pay the money that I owed him. And the real sad part is I lose more in juice now than I actually owed back then. So what I'm talking about is one of the things, especially when you get all these odds in the conference tournaments, you get obscure props about will this team do this, will this team do that. The lines are fluctuating because enough public's money's coming in. The wise guys are doing battle. So there's tons of opportunity for middling and scalps. So we're going to look at scalps. So if you go to the forums of college basketball, Lloyd has a great example of a prop where one book has Memphis to win the tournament, one has Memphis not to win the tournament, and a yes or no type bet. And the line is plus 200 at one, minus 125 at the other. So what does that mean in English? What it means in English is if you're betting nickels, you could bet $500 on the favorite at minus 125. You could bet $300 on the dog, and no matter what happens, whether if Memphis wins the tournament or if Memphis loses the tournaments, you pocket $100 with zero risk. Either way, there's no way you could lose money. You want to get a little bit greedy? You could bet 500 on the fave, 400 on the dog. If the favorite wins, you break even. No loss, no juice, no vig, zero. The dog wins, you win $300. Your limits are a little bit bigger. You could bet 500 on the dog. You could bet 833 on the favorite, and you can make 166 no matter who wins the game. You heard it right. I sound like some old boiler room guy. Win no matter what. I got a trillion-star lock. Go 9-0. You can't lose. Well, doing this, you can't lose. Do the math. I know there's people watching saying, you're out of your mind, you're crazy. How could you bet and not lose? 500 on the fave, 300 on the dog. You make $100 no matter who wins the game. I have a great spreadsheet that I'm willing to share. I'm all about sharing the love and teaching people how to make money other ways, especially when I have such a big following and the horrible run that I've been on. Hopefully stuff like this, when you are running bad, it could help offset some of the losses and actually add units to your bankroll. So if you're interested in getting this spreadsheet, you can email me at johnny@pregame.com. Lloyd also has it. I've shared it with him, so you could always go to his Math Geek thread with any questions, or as always, email me personally. So from Johnny Detroit to you, best of luck as always. I'll be back on Wednesday. Good luck.